So one of the first things I like to do when I get a new camera to try is go on an initial photo walk and give you guys my first impressions. Today I've got the Fuji X-E5 and I'm going to go on an initial photo walk, share my first impressions with you as I shoot it for basically the first time. I've got the Fuji 18mm f1.4, which I haven't used yet. I'm really excited to try with this camera. I've also got the 23mm f2.8, but I left that at home because I'm losing light pretty quick because the sun sets so fast now. Anyway, let's go shoot some photos. So first impressions of this camera is that it feels high quality. Compared to the X-T50 I used a couple months back, I mean, this is on another level. The build quality feels better, the materials feel better, it's got a heft to it that the X-T5 was missing, and it feels really nice. Although that heft is a bit of an issue with this camera. I'm finding that the grip they have is just too shallow and it just feels cramped. Even compared to my X100V, I don't think my X100V feels as hard to hold because it's just lighter, where this is heavier and I'm really wishing I had a bigger grip. I can't say enough though how impressed I am with this build. While it might not be the most comfortable to hold, I mean the build quality feels on par with the GFX 100RF, which I've held a couple times, which is a $6,000 camera. So for the build quality of the X-E5 to feel that good is really impressive, and Fuji did a great job with it. Now, I do think it's important to mention when I am on one of these photo walks where I'm testing out a new camera, I'm not going for the best images. I'm just going out to get a feel for the camera. And if I get great images, that's awesome, but I'm not striving for it. I'm just really trying to get a feel on the camera and how it works so I can get better images later on. When I'm out on a photo walk like this, I'm also always trying to get a set of images. So I'm aiming to get wides, mediums, and tights. So I get my wide shot to set the scene, I get my mediums to show a little more detail, and I get my close-ups to show all the really cool details, like the logo on this truck. Now, one of the big changes to the X-E5 from the X-E4 is the film sim dial. And this is a big improvement from the film sim dial they have on the X-T50 and the X-M5 because I can program my own recipes into it. Now, oddly enough, you can't name them. I hope they add this, but for now I can put FS1, FS2, FS3 as 3 different recipes. All the photos I've taken on this photo walk are either going to be edited RAWs, because I'm shooting in RAW+JPEG, or the absolute portrait recipe, which I've been really enjoying so far. Let me know what you think of the colors from this recipe. Now, if you watch my S9 first impressions video, oh, what is the autofocus doing? You see it's trying to pick up on a subject that isn't there. It thinks these cones are a person, I guess. Interesting. You may remember this from my S9 first impressions video. It was right in the same area. Nice frame within a frame over here. So far, compared to other Fujis I've used recently, like the X-T50, this camera just feels faster. I'm not sure why that is, but I think just operating the menus and moving around the systems feels faster. But also, so does the autofocus. This is by far the best autofocus I've experienced on a Fuji camera. Obviously, that can change over time as I use it more, but right now, this is by far the best autofocus I've experienced. And that makes me really happy because I think if Fuji can get their autofocus down, they're gonna be way more respected in the industry, and they deserve that respect because their cameras are just amazing. I mean, this camera just looks beautiful. I mean, it's one of the best looking Fujis I think I've experienced holding, and that's someone who has an X100V, who's used the X-E5, who's used the X-T50, who's used the X-M5. You really just can't beat this camera. I'm about 30 minutes into this photo walk and my wrist is starting to hurt. This lens definitely is a bit heavy for this camera body, so that's something to keep in mind. If you're planning on using larger lenses with the X-E5, you may want to get an extra grip. They're pretty cheap and I think it'll be a worthwhile investment. If I was using the 23mm f2.8, I think I'd be a lot more comfortable using this camera for a longer period of time. Now, speaking of this lens, this 18mm f1.4, this lens so far feels awesome. Just looking on the back of the camera, the images look really sharp. The autofocus is fast, it's quiet, it feels hefty and well built and sturdy, and honestly, I might have to get this lens eventually if I get an interchangeable Fuji camera, which I'm highly considering picking up an X-T5 right now. Let me know what you guys think of the X-T5. Should I pick one up? Never go wrong testing a camera with some flower shots, right? I'm about an hour into the walk now and my hand's really starting to cramp. I really think this lens is just a little bit too heavy for this camera. So something to keep in mind, if you're getting an X-E5, smaller lenses is probably the right move. Now, that shouldn't be too surprising. This is really, to me, an everyday carry. I'm not gonna put a 70-300 on this and go shoot birds. It's just not the right camera for it. If you wanna do that, the X-E5 is the way to go. Look, it's catching the face. That autofocus is way better than my X100V. And I think it's decently better than even the X-T50. I'm shocked that I'm as impressed with the autofocus on the X-E5 as I am. I really wasn't expecting that because so far Fuji hasn't blown me away with autofocus. This autofocus feels like they're really close to catching up. All right, we have a tire here. So obviously I'm gonna have to use the raw photo of this and edit it with my custom Lightroom preset named Tire. I'll have a link in the description. They're 100% free, so try them out. Can't hurt. Love the light in this shot. They did move the play button and a lot of people complained. I find it's still an easy reach to get to and I've got no problem reaching it. The control layout feels really good to me. Personally, I would have liked the drive button and the AEL button to switch because I just use the drive button mode, but that's really nitpicking at this point. I'm really enjoying having the low f-stop of this lens. It was definitely the right choice for today. As the light gets lower, I'm really not needing to bump my ISO as high as I would have if I had taken the 2.8 23mm. So first impressions of the X-E5, it's a really nice camera. The build quality feels really nice, everything feels super refined, and it's a level of refinement that I expect from something like the GFX 100RF or the Fuji X100VI, which is really nice on this camera because it's a step up from the X-E4, and I think that's where Fuji was going with it. I'm gonna have a full review out in the next month or so for you to check out, and I'll give my full impressions and full thoughts on this camera. For now, go and shoot some photos. Thanks for watching.